Good evening, friends. Jazz hands. No.
Hi, everybody.
Tina's here.
Yes, Tina's here and Anna's here. Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here. This is Achieving Wellness. And tonight we are joined by the wonderful and fantastic Valerie from Illumination Portal, Diana, otherwise known as Oilpntr. I thank you ladies for being here. And tonight we have something, I've been waiting for this for a long time. I'm like super excited because everybody knows that, well, most people know the whole reason why I came to YouTube in the first place was for the horoscopes. I am all about the horoscope. So I am really excited. Mm-hmm. It's like I invited you here for me and let everyone else listen to.
Oh,
okay, we'll do our best.
Well, no pressure, right? So I just want to say thank you to you guys for being here, and I appreciate you. Diana mentioned to me when she joined backstage that apparently we sent the memo out because we're all wearing like black and white, so that was just a freaky accident. That wasn't intentional by any stretch,
right?
And in case you think that I'm trying to mimic some sort of a movie, I have my fan blowing beside me because it is like 99 degrees here, like sticky, humid, gross. I feel like a wet noodle. And so if like I'm on a movie set, my hair starts flowing. It's the fan, I swear. So
we got a break today.
Yeah. Thank you, Juno. I appreciate that. I just want to take a moment. I don't want to, bring the chat down, but I want to say thank you to everybody for all of your love and your support and your prayers and all of your kind words. I truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And thank you. Oh, Diana, you have to turn.
I just shut it off. Hold on. I'm the culprit. I won't look. You'll have to tell me.
So we have Valerie from Illumination Portal and Diana here. As I said, tonight we're going to go through the zodiac signs and talk about what might be coming up for us in the month of June. And I'm very grateful that you're here to do this for us. So thank you. I happen to know that these two ladies.
I'm going to back out and come right back in because I've got an echo. I'll be right back.
Okay, love. I happen to know that these two ladies happen to be a bit of astrology experts, even though they don't think that they are. I believe that they are, so that's good enough for me. So thank you for being here, Valerie.
Well, thank you for having me, Kelly. I appreciate it. How's everybody been feeling is what I want to know. It's been kind of tough this month. We just got into June, and we're out of eclipse season for now until November. But this last month with the eclipse season was very, very intense for a lot of us. So, good news is Mercury comes out of retrograde tomorrow.
Whoa, can we just celebrate that for a moment? Let's just say that again and let everybody soak that up just for a moment.
Mercury will be coming out of retrograde tomorrow.
Okay. Just breathe that in and let that exhale. My God, that feels good because it was a bit rough. I'm not gonna lie, it was a bit of a
my printer messed up yesterday just to say ta-ta.
My computer went on the fritz today as if it was to say, like exclamation point, if you're not ready yet. Literally, I've never had this happen before. I finally got invited to have a wonderful collaboration with Ben from Beneficial Tarot and Tarot Stash. I was really, really excited. We've been planning this for weeks. I get there and it's like I'm in the dark and my internet is I'm in like I was doing the robot. I'm in slow motion. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I got every light in the house on top of me, but I look like I was sitting in the dark.
Wait, that stinks.
Retrograde.
Well, yeah, I was trying to print out charts so I would have everything nice right in front of me, big, so I could see it, blah, blah. And the printer's not printing black. So awesome. There's no words, there's no numbers, there's no, So no, that's not working.
So basically, Valerie is on her own, is what that was.
I think I put an empty cartridge in when I changed it. I don't know for sure, but maybe I did, because maybe I thought I was going to take it to Staples and have it recycled the last time I had to change it. But that was months ago, so who can remember that? Christmas had,
right.
Right?
Hi, greeter.
Well, hello, everybody, for being here. Wendy is here. Maura is here. Hugger is here, a.k.a. Greeter.
Angela.
Yeah, Cardamancy Mesquite's in the house.
Yeah.
Gino is here.
Angie.
Anna Banana's in the house. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Pierrette's here. Thank you so much, you guys. Appreciate it. All right, ladies.
All these beautiful ladies.
The floor is yours. You tell me what you want to do and how you want this to roll.
Well, Mercury, we got Mercury coming out of retrograde tomorrow. So we're going to go, what's significant about that is that right now, Jupiter and Mars are conjunct. Jupiter's 3 degrees, Mars is 5 in Aries. So Aries is about let's get going, right? But we couldn't really go anywhere because of Mercury retrograde and all these eclipses. So now we're just getting our footing and we're getting out of the mud, right? We're getting ready to go forward. Now, do we know where we're going? What do you think? I don't know.
Really? No, we don't. Because Ron is sitting right there going, wait, I got something to say.
Right.
I got something to tell you guys.
Yeah, he's out there. They're coming up behind Uranus, and Uranus is going to give him a little bit of a surprise, as usual.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, and let's hope it's good surprises, right?
So you have Uranus at 16 degrees, Paleo-Athena is at 14 degrees of Taurus, Mercury is at 5 degrees of Taurus, but he's going to go and conjunct himself with Paleo-Athena. How do you deal with the issues? Uranus, thinking outside of the box, and regardless of being in Taurus, and then they're going to be going right over that North Node as well.
Oh, that's right.
North Node is at 16 degrees. 22 degrees.
That's going to be
Venus is at 5 degrees. I'm sorry, and Mercury is at 25 degrees. So here we go. Here we go. Mm-hmm. Emotions are going to be involved, and today is an emotional day. Why?
Yes, ma'am.
Because the moon's in Cancer.
Gotcha.
Control. And you know what else, Diana?
Right. And so
Black Lilith is in Cancer right now, 5 degrees. So it's sitting with the moon. So your biggest emotional fears might be popping their head up. Go ahead.
I'm sitting here and I'm listening to you guys, and I didn't turn my phone off. I apologize. But I literally said that these ladies don't think that they're astrology experts, and I was lost after the first thing that they said. We need a vocabulary lesson so that we all follow along.
Well, so if you're feeling incredibly emotional right now,
yes.
Where's your Venus? Where is your moon? What is the moon doing to your natal chart? You know your natal chart with those two things.
Okay.
My Venus is in Cancer. So when the moon went over that.
Let's start with that. Where can we go to get our natal chart, and what information do we need to know, just as a way to start off so that people could look it up later?
Very easy and very free. I like to go to astro.com or AstroSeek, but astro.com will take
so astro ASTRO.com.
ASTRO.com.
I'll write it in the chat. Astro.com.
And it will say Astrodienst, which is fine because that's where it's based. It's in Holland, I think, right? And so, but it's free, it's easy. You can store it, you can save your account, and you can trust it. And the next time you go back, it'll be there. And you put other people's charts in as well.
Right. And when you do that, you need to know the time of your birth. But if you do not know the time of your birth, what time can you put in?
I use noon.
Okay.
And then then you look at it. Does that sign resonate with you? And the rising sign changes every 2 hours and 15 minutes, 2 hours and 20 minutes or so, somewhere in that field, right? So you can move ahead or move backward if you have an idea of what time of day, say dinner time. Well, what's dinner time for your family when you were little? 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Think about that. And go look at what that rising sign is and how does that resonate with you. Now, how do you figure out if it resonates with you, right? Well, the rising sign is maybe even a little more important than your sun sign because it is the moment you woke up. It is the moment you opened your eyes, took your breath.
Now, I did not know that.
Yeah.
So your rising sign is when you woke up. I love that.
Right. When you came out of the birth canal and the doctor spanked your butt, that's the time they write down. So it's pretty close to what they look at the clock and that's what they write down. So that's where your chart begins. That's where your first house cusp sets the rest of your blueprint.
Gotcha.
Where was the planet? How many degrees? What sign? What house? Because that's what sets that first house for you.
Right. And when we go to astro.com, put in our name, put in, I think it's the city, the town, whatever, the state or the province, whatever applies to you. And you want your natal chart, right?
Yeah. You can and it'll just take you to your natal chart. And then there'll be little graphs and bars depending on what kind of computer you're using as to what you actually will see. But it will say add transits.
Yeah.
So then you hit that button and they will put the transiting planets and where their positions are on the outside of that circle.
Right.
That circle is you. That's your clock.
I love that. So Tarot Stash is asking if we could define sun sign and moon sign also. If rising sign is when we opened our eyes, what is the sun sign and what is the moon sign? That's a great question, by the way.
Well, the sun sign is how you hit the world, right?
Yeah.
How it's impacted. Was it summer? Was it winter? Think about how the sun impacts you. That's how you're going to, in turn, impact the world.
Right.
The moon, well, we know how the moon controls water.
Yes.
And therefore controls our emotions. We know that the hospitals get inundated with shopping cart people.
Yeah.
And police stations get inundated with people during the full moon. So that is about your emotions. The moon is about how you deal with the emotions. When you put together everything in your blueprint, then you can see why you do the things you do.
Exactly.
And being aware doesn't mean you're still not going to be you.
Yeah.
Being aware means you have an explanation for, I could have had a V8, as Andrea would say.
I used to do that all the time, by the way. I think that's not, I used to have a V8, but I used to do the V8 thing.
Yeah.
So, that's really interesting to me. And I want to say, so I was lucky enough to have spent some time with these lovely ladies where they looked at my chart. The amount of information that you can find out about yourself is absolutely astounding. And so when you pull up your natal chart, like me, for example, I know, well, I didn't know, but now I know, like my sun sign, my moon sign, and my rising sign. Those are the kind of things that we hear people saying quite often. But there's also Venus. There's
9 planets plus all the asteroids.
Right. I mean, there's so much information on there. And when you do your natal chart, so after you see the graph, then below it, it breaks it down and it'll tell you like what degrees, what percentage, and you know what it means for you to be this way with this particular sign
And
What
it will also show you a graph. If you're using AstroGiants, then you'll see a graph that runs across, and it'll show you which planets are squaring, which planets are trining, who's conjunct, who's in opposition,
right.
who's in a sextile, who's in a quincunx. So there's all that goes on too. But I want to add one more thing because
Yep.
it's getting more use in Western astrology. Vedic astrology uses the nodes quite a bit. Now, every planet can have a node, but the moon's nodes are important. To me, your rising sign, as humans, we're here to be the best we can be.
Right.
We are here to be our ascending self. The rising sign is also called the ascendant. We are here to be our ascending selves, our highest self. And your north node is the lesson, becomes the vehicle by which you can go and drive up that mountain to be your highest self. So I always, especially in my own chart, where's the transiting north node and how is that affecting my north node? And my north node happens to be opposite my rising sign, which means my south node is on my rising sign.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I get this.
Now you just mentioned about like your north node and transiting and all that, and so Tarot Stash asked, what does a transit mean?
Transit means that the planet is moving. So your blueprint never changes. Even when you move, you are still your blueprint. The blueprint is just applied to a different location, right?
So basically you're going to leave a mark wherever you go.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, there are people who do a chart for where you live and how you're behaving in that environment, right?
Right.
I don't do that because you're still your blueprint.
Gotcha.
So I just stick to that basic one. And but you can do that. Yeah. You can read it a different way. It's like a progressed chart. As we age, we change a little bit too, because we are maturing. So
one
shows you how your sign how your original birth sign is behaving as a mature. So as a mature Gemini, I might be acting like a Leo. Oh boy. Look up.
Hey now.
Let's get up on stage. We're going to sing in harmony, right?
Absolutely.
Right? Absolutely.
So Tarot Stash says, so are Western astrology signs based on sun or moon sign? And I think what he means is the difference between the Western astrology and the other astrology methods that are used.
Vedic, I don't know enough about Vedic to go on that. Hogarth does Vedic astrology.
Yes.
I can tell you it's a square chart.
Right.
And it's just amazing how it still plays out to be and mean the same thing, just like doing Chinese astrology, where it's a whole year.
Yes.
It still turns out to be the same thing.
Interesting. That's really
very
interesting.
Mm-hmm. And the transits are the planets. We usually say, okay, you have your birth chart, right? And where are the planets right now? So when you hit the transit button on astro.com or Cafe Astrology is also good. Cafe Astrology will give you like a 30-page report for free and tell you exactly where everything is. So this helps you learn where, okay, this is this and this is conjunct that or square that. Because I know all these terms are a little hard to grasp, but the planets are always moving. And something in your chart is always being hit by something going on. Now, we all got hit this last month with the eclipses. Everybody's going to get, that's going to be more of a societal thing too, because the last one was in Scorpio.
Like the slow moving planets are a generational pursuit.
Right.
Everybody born in your 7-year, 10-year span is going to have Uranus in the same sign. And therefore that's going to be what it is your generation is about changing. Like, you know, I'm from the hippies of the 60s, right? I'm a baby boomer. Born in 49. So the people from 45 to 55, we share this common goal in reevaluating, changing, not doing things the old way. Uranus was, and Aquarius was, and we're entering and leaving. So leaving the age of Pisces and entering the age of Aquarius can take 250 years. I mean, we may not see when it finally gets into full swing, but that doesn't mean that we don't feel the effects of this momentum, of this change.
Right.
That's where all of us who are ascending. Like we all believe we're ascending to. We are going into the age of Aquarius. We're leaving the age of Pisces. So Aquarius is a whole different mindset.
Community.
Yeah, it's about community and everybody. You know, everybody is cared for, and you know, now it could get too much to the AI side. You know, because it can be distant and detached.
Right.
Well, and Aquarius is a fixed sign. Mm-hmm. So there's a modicum of stubbornness that can come with that because it's a fixed sign. Juno's asking about Mercury station to go retrograde. I have a Mercury retrograde. I have 7 planets retrograde. I only notice them as they're stationing to change again. And my printer screwed up yesterday because Mercury stationed to go forward tomorrow. He's not going to be retrograde anymore. So other than that, I actually am more stable when Mercury is retrograde because that's the way he was when I was born.
Mm-hmm. It usually works. Yeah, that usually works like that for people in retrograde.
Whoops,
well, plus I'm a Gemini, so that just adds to that whole yo-yo. Just tell me to shut up if I'm doing too much talking. I'm okay with that.
Oh my God. People would be telling me to shut up all the time. So this is what I thought would be helpful to people. And I don't know like what your notes are or what you have written down there, but do you think that we could go through like the signs and just sort of tell people like what's coming up for Aries, what's coming up for Taurus, that kind of thing? Now, when we do that, do we do sun signs or should we do rising signs if people know them?
First of all, we just throw it out there. Second of all, they apply it to whatever it is in
Gotcha. Right? That makes perfect sense.
Like,
I love that.
Like, I love Marianne from Revealing Light. Okay.
Oh,
and she
my
does
God.
horoscopes, right?
Yeah.
I listen to them all.
Yeah.
Because I understand my blueprint. And so whatever sign she's reading, even if my house is empty, even if that that particular sign doesn't have a planet in it.
Hi, honey.
Planets are going over it. So it's going to affect me. And it's uncanny how everything she reads, I can apply in one shape or another.
Right.
I think it would be easier to do like the bigger transits that are going on because that's affecting all of us. It's kind of hard to get into each individual sign and like I would like to see the wheel.
I actually did not prepare to do a predictive kind of thing.
Right.
So
sorry, I just want to take 1 minute and say hi. My husband just popped into the chat. Hi,
hubby.
Hi, husband. Hubby. So, I mean, like there's big things going on, right? Pluto is in Capricorn. We have this big, huge Pluto's. This is United States of America's first Pluto return. That means, when we were fighting the British to become our own nation, Pluto was in Capricorn. And we're at the end degrees of Capricorn, so you see how things are very chaotic right now. And there's a lot of division, and who's right, and my opinion's right, you're wrong, and it just keeps going back and forth.
Right.
Well, as soon as Pluto goes into Aquarius, I'm sorry, which will be, what did we say, Diane, about a year?
January of 2024, late in January of 2024, when Pluto goes into, he's going to go into Aquarius, touch on it, and then go retrograde and go right back into Capricorn. But when he finally goes from Capricorn to stay permanently in Aquarius, we'll be in the nation's return for the Constitution, which is about working for community. Mm-hmm. So we still have about 2 years of this yo-yo stuff going on with Pluto, breaking down the old structures, because that's what Capricorn's about. And I'm sure everybody, I shouldn't say that, but you've probably already heard that said by many astrologers on YouTube, that right now it is about reforming this foundation. Now, I have a house that has a basement, and I'm lucky. I don't have any cracks in it. But a 150-year-old house, a 200-year-old house with them good old Michigan basements have had to have some resealing done, right? Or some foundation replaced. So you just have to, if you think of it in terms of how you deal with your own foundation, with your own structure that you live in, it becomes clearer and easier to understand.
Valerie,
Valerie, here's a question on the screen here. So it says, I don't know if you can see that or not. So I am a
Scorpio, Leo, Libra.
Libra.
With stellium and Libra. The thing is, Valerie, we just had a Scorpio lunar eclipse, and you're going to have a Scorpio solar eclipse in November. And that's probably that's going to affect you, definitely. You know, and what does that mean? That means, yes, eclipse means to remove something, but it's usually something that's for our good, like an old belief system or an old, it could be anything. You know, it's just, we're always leveling up according to our charts. You know, it's just a matter, are we going to fight it? You know, because I don't know about y'all, but I fought most of my life against trying to change, and then it was just like, you're changing, here you are. You know,
you don't have a choice,
right?
Well, another thing that's good to know is the degree of the transiting planet. So when Uranus is in Libra, which will be a long time before Uranus gets in Libra, but when it sits at a certain degree, that's going to highlight a certain degree of your rising sign, whatever your rising sign is.
Oh, I'm sorry, honey, Virgo. It's Virgo. It looks just like the Scorpio symbol for Valerie. She's a Virgo. Yeah. Well, again, like Diana is saying, every single sign in our charts is based on a degree from 0 to 29. And depending on where that is, who's sitting next to it, is there something trining that planet? Is there something squaring? There's a lot to this. And there's a lot of good astrologers online that can get you your basics and get you to, understand your chart. And all those free charts that we were talking about will really help if you're really interested in it. But to go, like, for individuals and to read individuals' charts right here, we can't really do that because we need the degrees. We need to see what.
And if you think back to Kelly when we were doing that with just that group that we have, I mean, that was 4 hours and we still weren't really finished. We could have gone deeper. There were people who weren't there, so we didn't go deep. The other thing is, I'd like to give Dorothy Morgan a shout out. She's someone who's very easy to talk to, and she can help you very easily, and she's accessible. And
she does it daily.
And one of my favorite sites to go to for information, and in fact, where I went to make my own textbook, because I have 100 textbooks, but I only read 3 paragraphs in each of them. But Astro Cafe is with information, and from there I printed out what it was I wanted to be able to have at my hands beck and call.
It was really,
On
I have to say, it was
asteroids,
really
planets, on
informative when I went there.
everything. Right.
Found it really interesting. Okay, so Valerie, we sort of like totally like interrupted you and hijacked what you were saying. So you were talking about like the big things that are happening in June.
Okay, so we have okay, like I just said, we're getting out of the eclipse season on what's going on June 9th, the January 6th committee, right? Now this is part of the Pluto showing you where there's flaws in a lot of our systems here in America. Now this doesn't pertain to America, because America, what happens here affects the world, right? So while we're going through our thing for the next 2 years, and it's probably going to go longer than that, but we'll have a better grasp on our society politically in the next 2 years. But we also have that Uranus in Taurus. Now, that's a hard place for Uranus, right? Yeah, Diana, you want to talk about Uranus Taurus? Or
Well, Uranus wants to make everything outside of the box. It's the planet that controls Aquarius, and Aquarius is about thinking communally and thinking outside of the box. But it controls a fixed sign. And when Uranus is in Taurus, it's in a fixed sign. But Taurus has a different idea about everything. And that is, let's stay put. It controls the second house. And that second house is about the secret sauce, the chocolate, the silk sheets, the luxury,
money,
the things, and how to go about getting them. It's also the house of money. Mm-hmm. So Uranus is willing to take a chance on Bitcoin, and Taurus is going, are you nuts? Mm-mm. You out of your mind? Aren't the banks messed up enough? You're going to go screw around with that?
Right.
You know, so there'll be this conflict going on with that.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
So see, we have
wanting to go forward and wanting to have some change, but not really, but being still. No, it's not perfect. You perfect it, and then we'll talk about it. That's and because my Mars is in Taurus, my Mars is listening to Taurus and not listening to Uranus right now.
Mm-hmm. So we have two of those big planets. Those are collective, so they control society. One is hitting politically, one is hitting monetarily, and the one in the they're both in these positions where they don't feel safe and secure. Now, how many of us can say that? We just don't feel safe and secure in this environment. So we have all the personal planets who, like Mercury, goes around the sun in 80 days, 88 days. Venus is pretty quick. Well, Mars is now in Aries. Been a long time. Mars is ruled by Aries. That means let's go, let's do it, we're doing it, okay? And he's got Jupiter with him, putting all that extra energy and giving him more strength. But this is the longest transit for Mars. Mars is going to be in Aries for a very long time. He's going to go for a while and then retrograde. So there's going to be this feeling of I want to go and I got to get these things done. But we got Uranus, Pluto, Neptune's out there in Pisces, and he's kind of left the building. He just kind of checked out. He's out there in another galaxy because this is boring to him. There's too much animosity going on. Everybody's
the bottom of the ocean is always getting churned up, and he's like, okay, calm down the tempest here. Calm this down.
So we don't really have Neptune. He's here, obviously, but there's a lot of people checking out or extreme in their addictions, or I hate to bring up bad news, but there's people literally losing their minds because they can't handle the things that are going on. So because this has been a really rough 2 years for us, and we're just coming out of it, but we're still, like I said, in that mud. Like should I go? I'm not safe. I don't know what's going on. And Mars and Jupiter are going to want to go, go, go. And Mercury's about to go right with them. What Mercury going? Where's Mercury going? I'm sorry.
Mercury's going forward, but he's in Taurus at 25 degrees, so he won't
So,
be in Gemini for a little while yet.
yeah.
Another
So,
week.
yeah. And then when he gets in Gemini, he's going to want to discuss all this. There's going to be a lot of discussion. What are we going to do? How are we going to move forward? How are we going to be safe and secure? How do we make a society for all?
Right. And when he hits that 28 degrees of Taurus, he's going to be trining Pluto at 20 degrees.
Mm.
So there'll be some chance for conversation.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be a lot of conversation, but we're going to see a lot of things that are just going to be extremely frustrating to watch, especially with the January 6th committee stuff. It's going to be very, very, this is what I did a video today, or I'm doing a video series about how to cope in chaos. And you're going to really need to pull out your tools to keep yourself centered, because we're going to hear crazy stuff. It's going to be worse than, and I don't like to put fear out there, but it's going to be worse than we even thought it was. And all of us here thought it was pretty bad when he was in, I don't even like to call him a president, but you know who I'm saying.
He was my president.
Yeah. So,
well,
no, I meant so I can say it. It's fine with
me. You're lucky one here.
Well, I don't know about that, but.
Well, Woody Guthrie wrote a song about his daddy called Old Man Trump.
Right.
They were slumlords forever in a day. So, although it didn't get recorded until long after Woody's passing, but.
Right. Well,
but I mean,
I don't know what is wrong with my cat, other than I said hi, honey, and maybe he's hearing his father. I don't know, but he's like losing his mind. So if y'all hear him like crying and going on, that he's missing his daddy.
No. So we have a lot going on, and we're going to have to be strong. When a lot of us here we're intuitives, empaths, psychics, highly sensitive people, and we're here to hold the light, right? We're light workers. Mm-hmm. Hold the space. Hold that space. Stay in your heart. Stay centered, despite what's going on around you, because we already seen how. I don't even know what to comment on that. I really don't want to comment on it. Last week.
Yeah.
Right. In these types of things,
we have to hold light.
Yeah, are going to
light workers.
Hit us in the heart. You know, they do. They hit you, and you got to be able to maintain the light for everybody. You know, because that's what we're here for. And we have a lot of, a couple years of this, but we're going to get through it because we're strong.
Mm-hmm.
We're built tough. We're light workers. This is what we came here for, and we're just going to be the love we are. And the planets are showing that. They're just showing us that we have to discuss all these. Well, how do we do this safe and secure society for everybody?
Right. So this is the challenge. This is the challenge. This is the T-squaring the chart.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's a great way to put it. That's a really wonderful way to say it. So Andrea said this is the perfect time to act in impeccable integrity.
Absolutely.
Love that.
Yeah, I love that too. And the thing is, it's people like us who are solid in our energy, who want the best for everybody, that can help restructure this nightmare into something that is that isn't, well, I don't even want to say enjoyable or tolerable, but that really represents everybody in a respectful way.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I totally know what you mean. You know, I'm
Yeah.
sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, based on what you're saying, that I mean, I get both sides of this, right? I get the feeling, the dark and the heavy and the, you know, thinking I'm never going to get out of it for like, you know, for my own personal mental health disorder. But I also understand the other side of it, you know, to lift my vibration and come from a place of love and gratitude. I mean, so I sort of get both sides. And as I'm sitting here thinking of that, and I don't know if this sounds totally juvenile or completely naive, but here you go. I'm literally thinking, like, you know, this is the time as we move forward through this next couple of years, like you were saying, Valerie, that, you know, this is the time when you like figure out a buddy system.
Yeah.
You don't swim in the deep ocean by yourself.
That's right.
Even people who swim in the English Channel don't do it alone.
Right.
I'm a Harley rider.
Right.
But
Well, and it's funny that you say about the swimming, because that's what I was thinking. Like when you used to go, you know, in a buddy system, like you never go in the water by yourself, right?
Never go in deep. Even, I mean, we were on Virginia Beach with a bunch of girls for our bunko weekend. And I mean, we're all standing at the shore, and she gets caught up in a riptide and goes almost drowns. Somebody had to jump in and go save her. One of the lifeguards had to go and save her. I mean, it was scary business, and she wasn't that far from the edge of the shore when she got in that thing. It just swept her away.
So and that's a good analogy, though, Diana, because that's how these energies are going to feel at times. And when Kelly said we need to have a buddy system, look at the buddy system we had. We didn't know each other before a couple years ago, or you know.
That's right.
We all went through COVID together. We went through hell politically together. And here, look where we're at now. We're still standing, right?
That's right. That's right.
Go ahead.
It's like you got all these grocery bags and you got to carry them. And that means you're going to have to make 50 trips up and down the stairs by yourselves. But wait a minute. Here comes Kelly,
exactly.
Here comes Valerie. Oh, good. Let's all take a bunch. And now we're up the stairs together. That's still 3 trips. But we did it together.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's really the key. Like the key about the buddy system is that you're not alone. And so sometimes when you face things alone, all you can see is dark and the wall. You know what I mean? Right in front of you. You can't see the light unless you have someone there to lift you up, whether that means to laugh or to, you know, to cry or to just vent or to, you know, impart knowledge or wisdom on someone. That's really how you learn. I mean, that's how I've arrived at the spot that I'm at, is by being a part of this community and soaking up the knowledge that was given to me. And so, you know, the whole concept of that buddy system, I really, really like that, because that's how we help each other through these times. I really like that.
This brings us back to astrology, because, you know, if you think back to people who poo-poo the woo-woo, don't poo-poo the woo-woo, or the voodoo's going to get to you-hoo.
You need a t-shirt with that on it, Diana.
Oh, you're a Gemini and blah, 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 blah. No, I'm not just a Gemini.
Right.
Even if I were a triple Gemini, there's still 9 planets out there, you know, that
are influenced.
Make me something else.
Yeah.
And so a compliment doesn't necessarily mean sun sign and moon and this and that. Compliment is how you rise to the occasion presented.
Right.
Whether a relationship can be a challenge, well, do your best you. This is when you do your best Venus. This is when you do your best moon. You don't let your emotions run away with you. You do your best rising sign.
And so you bring up a a really good point that I was overlooking. Going through all this, well, we're going to be light workers. We're going to be with our buddies here. We're going to be doing the things that we are interested in. All this energy is demanding you to follow your heart. You follow your heart.
Yes, Ma, I hear you. If I get a little southern in my accent, it's because Virginia's coming out too.
Virginia coming in there too. But this is all about living your joy the best that we can under the circumstances we're in, and by following our heart and doing the passionate things that we love. Like Diana's been gardening. I mean, she's been gardening. I've been doing a little bit.
She's digging holes because
there's
nothing better to get grounded than digging a hole.
Yeah, and see, that's what it's going to take. A lot of grounding, following your heart, reaching out to people, to like-minded people, because we're going to see enough division. And I think a lot of us here know that we're not going to change somebody's mind ever.
What? I don't want this to turn into a political conversation. I don't want to change anyone's mind. I really don't.
No, just whenever you get into trouble, do your Saturn. Because Saturn is the Hierophant. Saturn is the school principal. Saturn he can be a tyrant, but he's the loving father who knows how to be fair, firm, and impartial in discipline. So do your Saturn. Where is your Saturn? Mine's Virgo. Whenever I get into trouble, I do my Saturn, which is to take care of somebody. Find somebody who needs help. And that's not very hard. There's always somebody who needs help, even if it's just to help chase the dog that got out of my neighbor's house. Or something like that. Just put your energy where Saturn can be the best use.
That I'm not saying that anything else that we talked about so far in the last 46 minutes wasn't important. Clarify, but that was a wonderful tip that we can all use to help ourselves whenever we feel stuck, no matter what the circumstances is, no matter where your sign is or what part of the year you're in, right?
I have this one friend.
Use your Saturn. I like it.
She goes, I don't want to do my Saturn. I've been doing my Saturn all my life. I want to do my Pluto. Your Pluto is doing just fine.
Yeah.
Your Saturn. Please do your Saturn.
Yeah. And that's it. And like Diana said, that's just being helpful to people. We all feel good when we're helping somebody else.
Right.
We all feel good when we're doing what we love. And, you may not know what your Saturn is, but if you find out and you find it to say it's in Cancer, just look up Google search Saturn in Cancer.
Right.
If you know the house, in the 6th house.
Right.
This will give you layers of information about yourself. And these are details that we're born with and we don't even know. And I never knew half of this stuff till I read my chart and I was like, you can't make it up. How does that know all these little synchronicities about me,
Right. Okay, so how do you do your best Saturn? Well, what's your best part of the rising sign? That'll be your language, right? And how do you choose the language? What's your north node? Do the best of your north node and present it in the best of your sun with the best of your moon, controlling whatever it is that was.
Okay, so sorry. Let's repeat that slowly for the beginners in the audience.
Okay.
One more time, because seriously, like that is super informative. If you get confused by terminology or different vocabulary and you don't understand all the houses and all that kind of stuff, that was awesome what you just said. So if you don't mind repeating it one more time,
right? Because it's as complicated as a deck of tarot, and then get a different deck of tarot, and things are going to shift.
That's right. So and then something makes sense.
But remember, it is like dealing with tarot. So if you can deal with the tarot deck and all the different changes in the Celtic cross, you can certainly take care of your chart. And
I'm ready.
whenever you get into trouble, do your Saturn. Do the best of your Saturn. Look at, what sign he's in, and if you can see what house he's in, do the best through that. But what if he's got a nasty aspect coming from something else? Do your best rising sign, because that's how you're going to reach your best Saturn for the benefit of others, for the benefit of yourself. Well, what if? Okay, so now where's your North Node? Do the best of your North Node to help yourself choose the language that you need to present through the best of your sun sign by offering the help that the best of your Saturn is willing to provide. And then by being the best of your moon sign, you take care of your emotions
Right.
without flailing them around on everybody else. That allows you, it's not even about control. It's about thinking twice and acting once.
Right.
Which is really what we should always be doing. I mean,
being
go buy
proactive.
a car, and then you remember that you can't have a Lamborghini. You got to, baby seat. You got to put in the car.
Right.
That's not going to work.
So being proactive, not being
no
reactive.
place to put Junior.
I love that.
So it's a sacred pause.
A sacred pause. I love that, Valerie. That's awesome.
Before we say anything or act out or anything, you just ask yourself, is this something you really want to invest your energy? It's precious. Our energy is precious, and we get so much a day, right?
Yeah.
We want to do where we can be uplifted and uplift others. Andrea said in service, not codependent. Yes,
Right.
no codependence. No, only service.
Well, I'm a little codependent on my chocolate.
Oh, well,
that's
your private moment. Yeah.
Chocolate
I'm
gets
on
us
to other things.
Well, and funny.
Look at the size of cup she's got.
I'm always at this desk and I'm like drinking a lot.
Right.
So Anna Banana says, so can I just go online and ask what it means to have Saturn at 0 degrees and 35 minutes of Taurus in the 11th house, and it will give me detailed info?
Yeah.
Cafe Astrology will. Cafe Astrology will. You put your information in there and it'll give you all your planets like that. And it'll tell you what it's aspecting and what planets are aspecting or whatever's in your chart. And even goes into a few of the asteroids. But yeah, you'll get a 30-page report from Cafe Astrology, and it's well worth it. It's free.
Yeah, I did it after we did our class. It was really informative.
Yeah.
So the other thing to look at is, okay, so here we have a case where Saturn is at 0 degrees. So you'll hear people say, well, you're a cusper, whether it's your sun sign or anything like that. You can be a cusp only when it's at 0 degrees. However, she's 0 degrees and 35 minutes in to Taurus. Right. So she's not just an infant at 0 degrees. She's got a few months behind her at 35 minutes. We split a sign up into 30 degrees. For 0 to 0 to 9 is like being through that first 7 years of life, 9 years of life, finding out for sure that if you stick your hand in the fire, you're going to get burned. And then that 20 to 20 to
10 to 20.
Sorry, thank you. 10 to 19. 10 to 19.
10 to 19.
In those teenage, early 20s, where we're still gonna test. We're gonna give it a test to see if I can have a different outcome, right? But then you start to get into the maturity of that 20 to 29 degrees before you hit that 0 degree again.
Mhm.
So just case in point, my Mars is at 29 degrees of Taurus. When you perfect Bitcoin, we'll talk about it. Don't talk to me about it till we're perfected, because I'm barely understanding how this monetary system works. Now you want me to change that one? No, that ain't gonna work. So you see, I mean, it's all about a learning process, and your Saturn at 0 degrees is going to need to stop a little bit. Don't just go running off because he's at 0 degrees. He wants to take it all in. He wants to learn it all. Slow down and study a little bit harder.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And the 11th house is about community,
Mm-hmm.
which brought me back to Andrea, because my Saturn is in Virgo in the 11th house. So it's usually puts me in a volunteer for something community, which is usually what I end up doing. I go, read cards for a fundraiser for autistic children and things like that.
Beautiful.
That is beautiful.
Y'all could be here for, like, we could do a marathon. Well, I mean, you probably couldn't, but I'm just saying, like, we could talk for hours, and I still think that we'd feel like we were at the beginning. Okay, so is there anything that you think is, like, ultimately important that we need to know besides what we've, the few things that we've talked about? Because I know we went all over the place. Is there anything else that you think that we need to know coming up in the month of June that's, like, really important?
Well, we have a big Sagittarius full moon, which I was born under that Sagittarius full moon, because my birthday is June 9th. I'm getting quite a birthday present, aren't I?
Yeah, you are.
But this huge super moon is going to be on June 14th. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
So,
and you know what else happens on June 14th? I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, please.
It's
please.
Uranus.
I've been digging in the dirt. My brain is kind of muddy right now.
No, you're fine. Uranus is crossing the sun. Am I right when I say that?
Oh, right.
Because that's could potentially have earthquakes, volcanoes, very, very. That could be one of those days where,
Oh man, were we shaking last night or what? I just kept getting impact after impact, and the sunspots were on the other side. They were not facing Earth last night.
Have you been? I started watching the earthquake today. Earthquake today. It's a thing. You'll see how many earthquakes go off in a day, and you will see why you feel like that. And she's starting to feel it now.
I feel it physically. I feel them physically. My whole body will sway.
Oh.
And it doesn't matter whether it's going off in Venezuela or Japan,
right,
or here in Michigan. I feel it, and I feel the aftershocks too if it's a big one.
Wow.
So last night I just sitting on the couch. This was happening. It's not like moving my head fast and getting a vertigo. No, it's not like that at all. It's none of that stuff.
Right.
Yeah, she felt the Peru earthquake last week, and she said, "Did you feel it twice?" Well, I'm looking up earthquake today. I didn't even know that it hit Peru, then hit Chile, and I don't think I ever told you, or did I text that to you? I don't remember. But she was like, there were two big jolts, and I'm like, oh, because she's starting to feel more and more in her body the Michigan tornado. She knew that was coming, So you see, this is another thing. We're picking up new skills and abilities.
Right.
Okay? You're going to start seeing that coming up. But the thing with the Mars and Aries with Jupiter there, you're going to feel like you're not doing enough, or you're behind or something. Don't let that Mars get you. If you have a definite spot, you want to go do this, then by all means do it. But don't let any of this energy feel like you're behind.
You're not. I mean,
I feel like that all the time. So
what about Bob? Right?
I get an extra hour on the couch. Yes.
Baby steps. Always taking baby steps. If we take baby steps, less chance of falling off of the mountain
Mm-hmm.
because we're trying to get to the top of the mountain without falling.
Yeah.
Right. So baby steps with a sacred pause. What else did we say?
Do your Saturn.
Your Saturn.
Do your Saturn.
Do your Saturn.
Andrea says practice groups will be the key to recovery in disasters coming. Yeah. Hi, Herc 213. Hello.
I can't see what is going on in the chat.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of Earth stuff because when Uranus is that close to the sun, it happens every year around this time. And
well, Uranus is that electricity. It's the what I call the quickening, the lightning bolt into the Earth.
And all the planets do that. Anytime they go by the sun, they will, wakes the sun up and it affects the Earth. But with Uranus is because it's about lightning, shocks and surprises, and that could be good stuff too. I don't want to make it just sound bad, but as for Earth stuff, that's usually severe earthquakes and volcanoes and things. So
Right.
And the solar flares, because it's such a big body that it ignites the sun to shoot off solar flares.
And the sun will probably be facing our Earth side.
Mm-hmm.
And those things are erupting. And then Nancy Jean also talks about the plasma that we have floated out from underneath. And that's also what's opening us up more to the sensitivities of what is going. We are stardust. We are golden. We are billion-year-old carbon, and we've got to get ourselves back to the garden, just like Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young said.
Yeah. And we are there. So we're becoming more in tune, right? That's what Diane is trying to say. Like we went through, what does Pam Gregory say? We went through an Oort cloud. We're just coming out of that space dust. I don't know how long we've been in it, but you got to think, Earth is traveling in a solar system in a spiral. What is it? 26,000 miles an hour, something. I don't even know what the actual number is. And we've never been in this part of space that we're sitting in right now. Right.
And our North Pole, our North Pole has shifted, and the magnetic North Pole has shifted, and it's going to shift some more. It's not done. I think it's actually somewhere in Siberia now, and not up where it used to be. And so that means the South Pole is and it's going to flip. Will it flip in our lifetime? I don't think we'll see it in our lifetime, but it's going to happen. And it flips. It's one of those.
It literally
like somebody flew off the teeter-totter,
And if you want to know anything about that
mental image in my head now of someone flipping off a teeter-totter.
If you want to know anything more about that space weather, there's a good channel on YouTube, Suspicious Observers, and they keep you updated. Like if you feel anything weird in the atmosphere, he posts something every day, and you can find out through him. He's a reliable source, and he's honest, and he peer reviews everything. He's a scientist.
Scientifically.
What's the name of that channel again, Valerie?
Suspicious Observers.
And then the other one is Nemesis, but they don't do any talking. They just put it to music. It's basically the same stuff that Suspicious Observers. Ever since Valerie turned me onto that channel, the sensations I feel begin to make sense, because when I go Google earthquakes on Earth,
nothing.
I just get inundated with information.
Right.
Because sometimes I do feel the smaller tremors. It doesn't always have to be a big one.
Right.
I had 3 dreams about tornadoes. Michigan had one the day after my 3rd.
Yep.
Right.
Then you guys had one up in Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
What? And then the third one hit down south.
Middle Virginia just came through and took out a little bit of
that's 2 tornadoes that we've had now in this year, and they were absolutely brutal, in a place where we don't normally have tornadoes.
And see, and this is why we're talking about like all the earth changes and the planetary stuff, because our weather system that we know of is no longer. Like hurricane season is going to be totally different, probably longer this year. Look, the first one started in the South Pacific, we're going towards South Mexico. That's
Agatha.
Yeah, and that's
a couple days ago.
But that's unusual, isn't it? That's usually at the end of the year. The end of this hurricane season is when they hit down in southern Mexico like that. So, and it used to be just tornadoes went across the middle of the United States of America. Now they're
going to a different place. Okay, so we got to watch out for weather on June 14th.
In your heart,
the sunspots and the sun flares and the plasma that pours out of the sun. Has it been really windy where you are?
Not particularly, but
does everybody know that it's the sun flares that causes the wind on Earth?
Yeah.
So if we feel the wind, which is caused by a sun flare, you really think that you as an individual can't feel it beyond just the wind?
Right.
Of course. I mean, that makes logical sense.
Right. Especially for people like us.
Woo to woo woo.
Right. Because we're all intuitives here. We feel, and just example, Diane is telling you she feels the earth changes in her body. But I also know that she is psychic and empathic and intuitive and can, knows things like most of us here. And
I don't know anything.
Yes, we're all just beautiful.
I've seen your blueprint.
I know you've seen my blueprint, damn it.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you call it a blueprint. I just think that it's so appropriate, but it's so cute. And it's like, you've seen my blueprint. It's like shameful. Absolutely.
You can remodel anytime. Every time something transits, you get to remodel.
Yeah.
You're painting the room.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else that we need to know, ladies?
Oh my gosh, we could talk
anything
forever.
Positive that's going to happen over the month of June, jeepers. No, of course, there's lots of things positive happening.
Yeah, there's going to be, we're going to hear a lot of stuff being exposed, and with Gemini, making sure that all gets clearly stated, a lot of people aren't going to like it, but it is going to eventually level us up to where we can restructure our systems, our government, our banks, whatever.
I really think that the truth needs to be said. We may not like what we hear in terms of, because we hear something and then we want something done, right? Yeah. But if it's out there, then maybe we have an opportunity to move forward with change and understand now that it is time. Like, there's no more sweeping it under the rug. There's no more pretending, because now it's out in the open, right? There's no more speculation, no more conspiracy theories. It's out there. It's been said, and there's really no way of backtracking from that. So I think that it is a positive thing.
I pulled out the dragon card. I just want to read it. It's sovereign dragons. You are the sovereign of your life, the true ruler of your realm. Reconnect with your power and use its sacred golden energy with confidence, care, and great respect.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And that goes right with this guy.
Oh,
nice.
Coyote. Right?
Well, I love that card. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
The loyal trickster. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I got card number 42, which is prosperity, which is abundance and success. Follow the
There's that
the yellow
North
brick
Node in
road.
Taurus.
I love that yellow brick road. Yes. Well, I think we're doing good. We're sovereign and we're prosperous.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And eat all the chocolate you want, apparently.
Right?
Well, on the 14th, especially, maybe you should stay home and eat some chocolate. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's always chocolate.
Yeah. Chocolate every day, all day. I'm trying to be good.
Lovely. Would that not be lovely? To eat the thing that you think that you're not supposed to eat and just not really give two craps about it. I love that. It's very positive thinking, isn't it? My goodness.
Yeah, I love it.
Please, thank you so much for being here and thank you for hanging out with me. I do appreciate it. Valerie, do you have anything that you said that you're doing a series? When can we watch the series?
Okay, I have 3 up already. I did one with Cardamancy Mystique Angela.
Mm-hmm.
I did one with Sarah Ann.
Yeah.
And I just did one with Jenny Starfish today at 4. So that's already up. And on Friday, I'm doing another, it's called Coping in Times of Chaos. And it's going to be with Stephanie.
Excellent.
Yeah. And then Diane and I are going to be starting to do stuff about astrology. So people can have another place to, or probably about all kinds of different things.
Right. Well, and and so next week we can start shuffling the deck for that too.
Okay.
Yeah. So Valerie's channel, for those of you that don't know, is Illumination Portal. It is in the description box below the video. Please do go check her out. She's a lovely lady. She's a fantastic reader and clearly an expert in astrology. So I highly recommend her.
I'm a baby astrologer.
Well, we're all impressed. That's all that matters. Diana is otherwise known as Oilpntr, and Diana has created her own deck of oracle cards that Allie from Heart and Soul Connected uses often. That's where I first seen them. Valerie has a set. Many people have a set.
There's 2 decks I need to get in the mail. Oh my gosh, it's been Memorial Day weekend, obviously. Right. Go to the post office. Thanks.
So if anyone wants to get a deck from you, Diana, how do they go about doing that, love? If they were interested.
Through Oilpntr@aol.com.
I'll stick that in the description below the video, but Oilpntr@aol.com. Okay.
Yep.
And y'all can chat about it. I think that's great. Is there anything else that you ladies would like to say before we say goodnight?
Just I love you.
Oh, I love you right back. Tomorrow night, I'm going to be here with Aiden Reed's Tarot at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to do a Who's in the News. So I hope you guys can pop in for that. And then, of course, on Friday at 3 p.m., it's Thanks Spirit for Friday. I said that wrong. Thanks Spirit, it's Friday. And sorry, guys, my brain is not where it's at tonight. Deanne Shield Maiden Tarot will be joining me. And then on Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, not that anyone's going to remember, but all the notifications are out, so you can see them there. But I will have Kathleen J. Lightworker with me for some mediumship and some readings. And I just want to again say thank you to Valerie and to Diana for coming in and joining us. We'll have to have you back and continue the conversation about astrology, because I know from the time that I spent with you how informative it is in understanding my own self. And so I hope that we can, impart some of that wisdom on other people to help them as it helped me. So thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. And I want to say thank you to everyone in the chat for being here and for participating and for sharing. And I want to say thank you again for all of the love and the good wishes and prayers and support. It really means the world to me. And I don't want to cry, but honestly, you touched my heart in a way that I'm just very grateful for all of you. So thank you very kindly. It means a lot.
Can I just say a little prayer on our way out of here?
Of course.
All right. Please place us in a steady stream of divine white light, that white light of divine guidance and divine grace. Place us in a blue bubble that shrinks to surround us and protect us, and set us into the teal green orb of Raphael that floats and shares and transfers the steady stream of divine white light, that white light of divine guidance and divine grace to everyone that we should meet along the way. So mote it be. We are the light.
Beautiful.
Yeah. That is beautiful. We are the light. Thank you.
Well said, my friend. Well said. All right. Much love to, thank you, Juno. I appreciate that. It is, it is greatly appreciated, my friend. Truly. Truly. All right, ladies, thank you very much. Everybody, thank you for being here. And we will see you next time.
Peace out.
Blessings.